What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the new Sopranos movie, The Many Saints of Newark, starring Alessandro Nivola, Ray Liotta, Michael Gandolfini, and Leslie Odom Jr. The story for this one goes like this. Young Anthony Soprano is growing up in one of the most tumultuous eras in Newark, New Jersey history, becoming a man just as rival gangsters start to rise up and challenge the all-powerful DiMeo crime family. Caught up in the changing times is the uncle he idolizes, Dickie Moltisanti, whose influence over his nephew will help shape the impressionable teenager into the all-powerful mob boss, Tony Soprano. So I'll start this one by saying that it's pretty obvious, but if you're already a fan of the Sopranos TV series, you're gonna appreciate this movie more than someone that's just going into this New Jersey mob world completely fresh. That's not to say that there isn't a lot for newcomers to enjoy here, but for the die-hard fans, there's a lot more to cling on to here. As a huge fan of the series myself, I went into it hoping that the movie is at least as good as the worst episode of the Sopranos TV series, and not seem like a cheap knockoff that involves the Sopranos just to get more eyes on it. I wanted it to feel warranted and be a welcome addition to further the world building of this already incredible TV series. And I think for the most part, it feels pretty authentic and lived in. When it comes to the cast, I really enjoyed Ray Liotta in this one. He must actually be a gangster, because he always shines and feels right at home in this genre. I thought Michael Gandolfini did a nice job as young Tony Soprano as well, the character that his late father, the great James Gandolfini, played to perfection. I will say that the marketing of this movie will lead you to believe that he's the main character of this story, when he really isn't. There are definitely some scenes that returning fans of the series will enjoy, showing young Tony in his formative years and what decisions led him down to the path we know he goes down. But Alessandro Nivola's Dickie Moltisanti is the true star of the show here. I found him to be the most interesting character by far, and whenever he was on screen, my eyes were fixated on him. In the Sopranos series, we always heard about the character of Dickie Moltisanti, but we never actually got to meet him. And this portrayal really lives up to the character that we learned so much about through legend and word of mouth. He fits right into this universe, and I would love to see more of him if at all possible. When it comes to the rest of the Sopranos crew that we know from the show, like Paulie, Silvio, and Junior, none of them stood out to me all that much, but I thought that their performances were just good enough. I do think Corey Stoll as Junior was a bright spot though, and fans of the show will enjoy hearing him mutter some lines and jokes that we heard the character say over 2 decades ago now. I thought Vera Farmiga had some powerful moments as the matriarch of the family, Livia Soprano, as well, which was nice to see. I do wish that John Bernthal as Johnny Soprano, another character we've come to know only by reputation in the series, was utilized a little bit more here. I think he's a fantastic actor, and I've seen him in pretty much everything he's been in since The Walking Dead. But I also understand that this wasn't his character's story. I don't know if this was a problem for other people, but I did find myself playing a little bit of Who's Who while watching this movie that had so much structured history built into it already. Towards the beginning, I found myself watching these characters like a hawk when they were on screen, trying to figure out if they were a character from the series, and that might have taken me out of the movie a little bit immersion-wise at various points. When it comes to things I didn't like about the movie, I thought that the pacing was a little slow at various points, and I think it could have been sped up a bit to increase the action. This isn't to say that episodes of The Sopranos show were action-packed from top to bottom, but I think if you're trying to create this standalone crime drama that isn't supposed to be viewed only by fans of the TV show, you might want to throw a couple more moments of conflict and tension in there to really hook them into the movie. I don't think that it's boring per se, but it's definitely not as action and tension filled as some of the great crime mafia dramas we've had in our day, such as The Godfather, Goodfellas, The Departed, and Scarface. Leslie Odom Jr.'s character did a really nice job of going toe to toe with our main character, Dickie Moltisanti, over a much needed territory clash, but I wanted more from it. Also, not like this is really the film's fault specifically, but when you base a movie off of beloved and highly regarded source material, it's gonna set the bar incredibly high. And I don't think it reached that level for me. And last but not least, I don't think that there's a single piece of Gabagool in the movie. Not one. Not even a reference. If I was writing a Sopranos movie script, the first thing I would put down on the page is interior, the Soprano household. A plate of Gabagool is placed on the table. But maybe that's just me. The Many Saints of Newark gets a Sully score of 7. A decent addition to the Sopranos world, with a strong lead performance by Alessandro Nivola. And although it's not able to reach the incredible heights of the series and is a little slow at some points, it still leaves fans of the show with a nice story that gives us a peek behind the curtain at our favorite group of Italian gangsters before Tony took over. So that's my review of the Many Saints of Newark. Let me know if you're gonna go check this one out in the comments below. And if you like new movie reviews, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that I know you want more of this type of content. And I'll see you guys at the next video.